Bonjour, cette semaine est consacrée à Alexander McQueen. Derrière ses défilés spectaculaires, ses shows provocants et sa mode extravagante se cache un homme timide, talentueux, sensible. Nous sommes venus découvrir cette face cachée d'Alexander ici dans la campagne anglaise, mais nous irons aussi à Londres dans son studio de création où il nous a subjugués les ciseaux à la main. So Alexander, here is your house. and thank you, dogs.
Go on, come on. Minna, come on, come on, yeah.
The view is very important here. Why?
Because it's next to the sea, and I have an infinity with the sea. I need to, I don't know, maybe because I'm Pisces, I don't know. It's just that it's very calming, you know. It's all the elements, you know. And when it rains and it snows and you near the sea and you can hear the waves and you can see in England we see white horses, you know, the big, you see the waves, and it's very melancholic, but it's very romantic. And you know, if you just stand there and you look out, and sometimes you can see France. And
from your bed you can see France.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a very old house.
400 years old, really old.
This tree has a strange story. It's very old too, huh?
Yeah, this is older than the house. This is over 400 years old. It's an elm tree, and we uplight it at night, and it's very Tim Burton. He's a good friend of mine, and it's good inspiration for you. Remember the Conciergerie show?
Yeah.
So I designed the Conciergerie show here.
Ah, yes?
Yeah, because this tree was the start of the show for, you know, the wolves.
Yes.
This was the start of it.
McQueen, un génie de la mise en scène. ParisModes, dès 1996, décide de le suivre et le met à l'antenne afin de le faire découvrir ici à Paris. Diplômé de la St. Martin School en 1993, il crée sa marque dans la foulée, n'ayant pu accéder au studio de Jean-Paul Gaultier et de Martin Margiela, les deux seuls créateurs qui l'intéressaient. À l'époque, c'est la galère, les temps sont durs. Issu d'un milieu modeste, McQueen ne bénéficie d'aucune aide. Chez LVMH, on repère la perle sur Paris Première, une aubaine pour cet enfant terrible et prodige. McQueen a 26 ans lorsqu'il prend la suite de John Galliano chez Givenchy avec la haute couture du printemps-été 97. Sa mission, la direction artistique du prêt-à-porter et de la haute couture. Un vrai challenge pour un jeune créateur. L'expérience Givenchy arrondit ses fins de mois et lui apprend à maîtriser ses idées, mais il n'est pas à l'aise pour autant. Il choque, il provoque, cultive une esthétique sexuelle parfois cruelle. McQueen surfe sur l'ambivalence, il voit la beauté là où d'autres voient la laideur et le morbide. McQueen, c'est avant tout la coupe, impeccable, apprise à l'âge de 16 ans chez les tailleurs de Savile Row, féminisée grâce à son travail haute couture. Mais dès décembre 2000, c'est le clash, adieu LVMH. On va parler un petit peu de ton histoire dans la mode. Comment un petit peu tu as commencé, ton passage dans la haute couture et puis ton arrivée dans le Gucci Group. Comment tu as évolué?
I'm much more relaxed as a person. The Givenchy days, as you know, was quite traumatic. It was a lot of work. I was 26 at the time when I started Givenchy. It was a great experience, but maybe it was, for someone so young, I think it was a lot of work to do, because I was designing 14 collections a year. It was incredible. I would never go back there. I mean, I would never step back. I'm glad I did.
Yes, of course. It was one step in your way,
And I'm glad it was when I was young, and because now it's made me more confident in my own work. And I think I understand more what I'm looking for in my life, in my work, and because even if sometimes I wouldn't like to think so, my work does run into my life. So there has to be some sort of peace and calm there. And yeah, I think, you know, I'm very fond of Domenico and Tom. And I'm very...
They let you very free?
Completely, 100% artistic control over my company and over the illusion of Alexander McQueen and the shops, which is the main reason why I chose Gucci Group over LVMH, because of the freedom. I think, no disrespect to Monsieur Arnaud, but the different mentality, a different concept in business. But my feeling was more of a family-orientated company, more relaxed and less pressurized. And I'm happy with where I am now.
C'est en décembre 2000 aussi que McQueen cède 51% des parts de sa société au Gucci Group. Un soulagement financier. McQueen, en toute confiance, ne doit plus s'inquiéter pour sa trésorerie. Il décide de défiler à Paris.
You know, when we started making investments in other companies, I really thought about every season, whose collections do I look at and whose collections am I jealous of, in a sense, and whose collections do I think are absolutely amazing. And Lee, or Alexander as the world knows him, every season, you know, he's something that is so rare.
One day, Tom came to see me and said, you know, we really need to think about Lee McQueen. And I never forget, he gave me a tape of what I thought was the most moving, beautiful shows that I've seen. I've seen a lot of shows. It was the show about the birds, called The Bird Cage. And I thought it was beautiful, it was simply beautiful. It was very moving, it was beautiful, the clothes were beautiful.
He's a real poet. And the wonderful thing about Lee is he is poet, and he won't like this either, but it's true, poet and commerce united, because he's very practical, he's very real, he understands, he wants to be successful, and so he understands that, you know, you can express whatever you want on the runway, but you have to have something beautiful on the hanger to sell to a store.
In fact, I think the performance of the McQueen stores that we have opened so far has been very, very strong, somewhat stronger than even we expected. And despite the fact that, as you know, we've gone through the last 2 years being sort of difficult economy in general, and for the luxury industry in particular.
En avril 2004, Domenico Desolé et Tom Ford vont quitter le Gucci Group. Espérons que leur successeur saura respecter le talent et la personnalité de McQueen.
Alexander, tu vas nous parler un peu d'architecture, parce que cette maison, c'est toi qui l'as voulu comme ça à l'intérieur. Et quand as-tu commencé à t'intéresser à l'architecture?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a passion of mine. I did really want to be an architect when I was at school, but where I come from, I had no qualifications to be an architect. Now that I can afford to work with architects and work in architecture, it's like a hobby now.
Quand tu as acheté cette maison, tout de suite, tu as su ce que tu voulais à l'intérieur?
Yeah, I mean, because it's pretty much like my work. It's contradictory in terms. It's like the house is 400 years old, and the inside I wanted very modern, but comfortable as well, because I have to live here at the weekends, and it's relaxed. It had to be a complete contrast. I didn't want to change the outside of the building, because the outside has so much character, and with the surrounding areas and the countryside around it, next to the sea. But it had to have my personality as well. So.
Dans la boutique aussi, même s'il y a eu un architecte, tu as tout voulu contrôler.
I suppose I'm quite stubborn when it comes to my work, and before, when I was with my old backers, you let them take responsibility for the illusion of Alexander McQueen. And I learned early that it was the wrong thing to do, because at the end of the day, it's my illusion. So when I signed with Gucci and we started to open these shops, I had a definitive idea of what the way the thing should look.
think it's very theatrical. I mean, if you see his shows, this enormous theatrical effort goes into the presentation of his clothing at the show. And I think what we were trying to do is to make a space that had the same sense of theatre and the same, you step off the street and you leave the reality of the world behind almost, and you enter his McQueen's world. And hopefully, I mean, there was a balance to be found between being too theatrical and overpowering the clothing, and having something that was theatrical and very distinctive, yet allowed the clothes to shine.
What is your, because it's a best friend of you, but you are doing very interesting thing with him, Nick Knight.
Working with Nick is always like exhilarating because he's always wanting to try to do new things. I mean, the work I do for showstudio.com, his website, I mean, it's always revolutionary.
Yeah.
It's making a wedding dress out of a man's suit, and
this is a real performance.
yeah, it's his performance art, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's live
Yeah.
on the net, and you can tap in and you can see me changing this man's suit into this wedding dress and covering him in paint, and it's exciting, it's fresh and it's new, and Nick gives you carte blanche, so it's cool.
On voit les vêtements, on voit la manière qu'il se comporte, qu'il dit en public, mais personne ne le voit actuellement créer des vêtements. Et on m'avait dit, j'avais entendu de Katie England et des gens autour de lui, qu'il faut vraiment voir lui quand il coupe, quand il a un paire de ciseaux en main, quand il a quelque chose en main. C'était là, à ce moment, que lui devenait vraiment lui-même. Alors je lui avais demandé de justement créer ces vêtements devant nos appareils, devant nos vidéos. Et il l'avait fait d'une manière assez... il y avait une trentaine de personnes dans le studio quand il travaillait, et tout le monde était complètement la bouche ouverte à le voir travailler. Quand il a dit qu'il a fait ça, il m'a dit « Ok, Nick, je te demande, il faut que toi, tu me transformes dans l'aigle doré. »
Do you think that one day you will do paintings or something else, sculpture or artistic thing, I'm sure?
Maybe film. I've been thinking about making a film, maybe in the future.
Like director?
Yeah, I directed one video for Bjork, which was hectic.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2 24-hour days. It was crazy, but I would like to make something a bit more, most probably more biographical.
Your own story with your family story?
Yeah, it's based on...
You were lucky with your parents, with your family, and they are always there and very close to you. It's important for you.
Yeah, because my family keep me grounded, you know. It's, as you know, fashion can be a very superficial business, so I have to have that cement grounding on my family. My family is what makes me the person I am today, you know. It's like when, you know, you're surrounded by film stars or pop stars and things like this, it's good to come back down to earth. You know, at the end of the day, there is normality in my life.